Starlets, I'm Sarah from Everyday Starlet. Welcome to my channel. We're bringing a little bit of glamour to everyday life. If you want to join my Starlet squad, be sure you hit that subscribe button. Today I want to talk to you about serum foundations. This was actually a requested video because I had actually never even heard of serum foundations until a lovely Starlet viewer asked me to review them, and I was like, I gotta look into this. I can't believe that there's actually a type of foundation out there and I don't know anything about them. Serum fluid foundations are kind of this trend that's been around for a little while, not too long. I went and collected a bunch of them. These are all first impressions because I had none of these before, and I will admit I have a lot of them, so there's a lot in this video. I will timestamp all of the products down below in the description box if you have any specific ones that you want to see my reaction to. If you're not familiar with how my makeup collection video reviews work, basically I take a particular product, in this case serum foundations. I test a different one each day for however many days I have the product. I show you applying it, giving you a first impression, and then I give you an update throughout the day, letting you know how I liked it and what I thought of it after wearing it for an entire day. Then at the end of the video, I will give you my A list and D list, so be sure you stay tuned for that. So if you want to see my serum foundation collection and which ones worked and which ones didn't, then just keep watching. Okay, so today's serum foundation is the Dior Nude Air. It's Diorskin Nude Air serum foundation. So we'll see. The packaging is awesome, and it's like got like a dropper. I primed my face. I have like my moisturizer and everything, and then I prime my face with my Hourglass Mineral Veil Primer because I just do that all the time. You know what? Let me just do the Instagram thing. I'm probably gonna make a mess here. Let's do the Instagram trick and, well, okay, yeah, that's messy. I shouldn't have done that. That was really dumb. Should have been prepared. All right, I'm gonna use a brush on this side. Maybe I'll just use my beauty blender on the other side. It has a slightly perfumey smell to it. Not super strong, just a little perfumey. Light beige, 20. All right, and then this other side, I'm just gonna blend it in with the beauty blender. Okay, it's definitely more pigmented on the side I use the brush. I think I may put more product on that side though. I'm gonna smooth out everything just to get it nice and even. I am kind of liking how like glowy my skin is looking. My skin feels a little, I don't know if tight's the right word, which isn't a bad thing. It just, I don't know. I think I like the side with the brush, like applying it, evening it out with the brush, and then going over the beauty blender a little bit better. I feel like I just got a little bit more of an even coverage. That's actually my preferred way to do any foundation. Yeah, I feel like especially with this one, I think that probably would be the way to go. Because I feel like this side got just a more even coverage and things look a little bit more smoothed out, whereas this is showing a little bit more of the texture in my cheeks. So, but I'm actually gonna put on the rest of my makeup, set it, and I'll check in with you guys later in the day, see how I liked it. Okay, so foundation update. I'm really impressed with this stuff. I gotta say, for my first serum foundation, I'm like, my skin kind of has like a glow to it. I look at it in the mirror and I'm just like, okay, it's looking pretty good. It is, I will admit, like I put it on more in the afternoon and it's not super late, but this is the only chance I'm gonna get to update you today. I have a feeling that like if the weather was a lot warmer, because it has been a little chilly today, and it was hotter, I do feel like my skin, because it's making my skin very glowy, that with my skin being oily, it would get really shiny later on in the day. So that would be interesting to see like this in warmer conditions, but in warmer conditions, my face should get shiny anyway. So I have to say, I am impressed with this and I do think I would try it again. Okay, so today's serum foundation is the Hourglass Fluid Makeup, or Hourglass Veil Fluid Makeup. I bought the shade Ivory. This is oil-free, broad spectrum, SPF 15. This is actually supposed to be tightening. I won't read the whole explanation because there's like words in here I can't pronounce and everything, but it's like, it's supposed to be buildable medium coverage, natural radiant finish. It's supposed to like tighten the skin and be anti-aging, and I don't know, see, I've been like really impressed with everything Hourglass that I've tried, I feel like so far, and I already primed with my Hourglass Veil Primer. So I am excited about this one. The only problem, I forgot to clean my foundation brush yesterday. I wiped one of them off as much as I possibly could, so hopefully this will work. But this one comes in a pump, which I like. I think I like it better than the dropper formula, which didn't really work all that well for me. Okay, so let me try the brush on this side of my face. Okay. I'm gonna try just the beauty blender on this side. All right, I'm gonna Beauty blend the brush side now. Just to go over it, even everything out. I don't know if this is applying as smoothly and evenly as some of the others, although I may really just need to clean my beauty blender. Yeah, it's getting kind of patchy. This is weird. Like around my nose area. Let's see if I use my Real Techniques is much cleaner, and it appears to just be pushing the product around, which is weird. Okay, I'm a little bummed about the application of this. It's not going on as smoothly and evenly. I don't know, yesterday I was so blown away, and today I'm like a little bit like, It's having a really hard time blending in. Skin does look nice though, kind of nice and glowy. I still think the brush side I got like a more even application. And I thought maybe it's just because, to be honest, I haven't cleaned my beauty blender as often as I should. And maybe that had something to do with it, but like the Real Techniques sponge, even though I like the way the beauty blender feels better, I mean the Real Techniques sponge really does even things out. It works just as well. And this is quite clean. Like I haven't used it for that much, and that's still, I don't know, stuff was just, it felt like it was just shifting it around. It didn't feel like it was blending it in as nicely as like most blenders do blend in my foundation. So I don't know. I mean, I do think my skin looks nice, but that took a lot of blending. I still feel like there's places that look a little patchy. I'm gonna do the rest of my makeup, set this, and then I'll update you a little bit later throughout the day. Okay, so foundation update. I mean, I have some marks from my sunglasses and stuff because it was really warm today. My face is really shiny. I did get compliments on my skin today, so there is that. But I don't know, I feel like I had really high hopes for Hourglass products. Like there's a high standard for me for Hourglass because I love them so much. And I don't feel like this quite lives up to it. I mean, it was so hard to apply, and my face is pretty shiny. I might give this one another try, maybe when the test is over, you know, with my clean beauty blender and brushes and stuff, but a little bummed out about this one. Okay, so today's foundation is an affordable option. It is the e.l.f. Foundation Serum. This is broad spectrum SPF 25. I just opened this, never used it, and actually when I first started reading it, I thought it said like create a freak natural glow. It says create a fresh natural glow, so no freak. Okay, so it's vitamin infused. It's got ACE and goji berry. I like goji berries. I used to have like a granola recipe that used to use goji berries in it, but beside the point. It's got a pump, which I like. I grabbed the shade Fair Light, and I've primed my face. Okay, I use the brush on the side. Nice even coverage. Let me try the beauty blender on the side. It's not giving me much coverage though, and my skin's looking a little flat and like a little dry. It doesn't feel dry, but I feel like it looks like it's dry. I don't know. It applied, you know, evenly. No complaints about that, but I don't know. It's not really doing much for my skin. My skin feels a little blah, like I'm not wearing anything, and it's not really giving it any like luminescence. It's not giving me much coverage. It's not really giving me much of anything. I mean, you know, there's vitamins in it, so it could be good for your skin long term, but I'm not really excited about it. But I'm gonna finish up the rest of my makeup. I'll set this, and then I'll update you a little bit later in the day. Okay, I was so excited that I had natural lighting today because I'm doing this like before it gets dark. So I was like, oh, I have natural lighting, and I can't get it to like work. So hopefully you guys can see this. As far as the foundation goes, I mean, I know it's affordable, so I know my expectations shouldn't be too high. It's not terrible. Like, I mean, I look at my skin throughout the day, I'm like, oh, it's okay. It's, you know, it's not like, not wowing me. Like, I feel like day one with the Dior, which is a much higher price point, mind you, but I feel like I look at my skin and be like, wow. Or like yesterday, I got compliments on my skin, even though I wasn't crazy about the Hourglass. But with this one, even though, again, it's way more affordable, it's not getting me excited. And I feel like even a lower price point or a drugstore product, like, I wanted to get me excited to use it. So while I don't think it's bad, and in fact, I do think my skin is like less shiny than some of the others. So, I mean, I do have oily skin, but I don't tend to like products that are too mattifying. I feel like this one is a little bit more mattifying than some of the others. So I don't think it's bad. It's not like getting me excited to use it. Like, I'm not like, ooh, I want to try this again. Okay, so I primed my face, and today's serum foundation is the Perricone MD. I've never tried anything from this brand before. No foundation, foundation serum, broad spectrum SPF 30 with neuropeptides. Fancy. So this is obviously a first impression because I'm opening the box now. I've got a dropper. There's some instructions in here. And it's a tiny little package here. All right, we're shaking this up here. Basically, take off the top, and then you put the dropper in here. which I guess is okay. I just feel like it's a little waste because then you're not really gonna ever use the top thing again. The dropper, I think I learned my lesson from trying to do that drippy thing all over the face. Put it on the back of my hand because I got it all over my shirt when I did it before. Okay, it's already kind of messy. It's already dripping down the sides here, but I guess at least it's not dripping down my face. Okay, I'll do this side with the brush. It's okay so far. I'm gonna try this side with just the Beauty Blender. I'm almost liking the side with just the Beauty Blender a little bit better. Like it's a little bit more even. Let me just use this on the rest of my face. Not a whole lot of difference, I think, in sides. I always just find a brush distributes it a little bit more evenly, but I'm not noticing a huge difference. My initial reaction is, I mean, I think my skin looks good. I don't know if it's giving me, I don't know if it's wowing me, but I think it's decent. I'm gonna finish up my makeup, I'm gonna set it with a little bit of powder, and then I will check back in with you later in the day. Okay, so foundation update. I'm trying to get like lighting at the right angle here. Had this on for a little while today, and I have to say it had a little bit of drag when I tried to powder it, but the Dior one, which I think so far is probably my favorite, that one did too. It wasn't terrible, I could still powder it, but there was a little bit of drag, but I have noticed that like when I walk by the mirror today, I'm like, my skin looks pretty good. So I don't know, I mean, it is a little shiny, it's not super like full coverage or anything, but I don't know, I'm pretty happy with how my skin looks. My skin does feel a little irritated though, to the point where I don't know if I wore this more often, I don't know, it feels a little, it's not itchy, but it is a little hint of irritation to it, like from the minute I put it on, and then every once in a while I'll notice it. It's not terrible, but it does worry me, so it's just something that I have to keep in mind if I decide to wear this one again. Okay, so today's serum foundation is the KEVYN the Sensual Skin Fluid Foundation. And first impression, I've never opened this before. I got the shade SF02. I feel like, if I recall when I was picking this out, it was really hard to figure out the shades for this. It's very liquidy. Okay, shake well before each use. There's obviously a pump here, and it's a dropper, which doesn't seem to be absorbing that much. All right, here we go. But it doesn't suck up that much, and that shade does not look like it would be the right shade for me. The packaging leaves a little to be desired. Yeah, this looks way too light for me. Okay, I forgot to clean off my foundation brushes again. So I tried just sort of like hand cleaning this one off a little bit. I tried to remember to do that today. And apparently I am using a foundation brush on this side as opposed to the other side this time because I just forgot which side I was doing it on. Yeah, this shade is way too light. I'm like a ghost. This is like ridiculous. Like I said, it was really difficult online to shade match. I was gonna film today. This is ridiculous. All right, let me beauty blend this side and see. I'm like the ghost of makeup past or something. I don't know. This is, yeah. All right, so shade matching did not work. I'm usually at least close. Is this feeling kind of dry? I don't know. I don't know if it's because it's so light it doesn't look like it's blending seamlessly, but I'm trying to get past the color to just focus on the formula. I mean, I tried to do a lot of research about the shades, trying to find descriptions and stuff, and it was not easy. I suppose the only option really would be to like go into a department store and get shade matched, but this is just really kind of hard to blend out. But again, could just be the shade. My skin's feeling kind of dry, and the dropper didn't work all that well. I mean, I kind of feel like this is a pretty expensive product. For a product this pricey, I kind of feel like you kind of expect a little more. All right, I'm gonna attempt to put on the rest of my makeup, set it, and then I'll update you a little bit later in the day. So I think I managed to blend this in enough and then put enough like blush and bronzer and stuff on to cover up the fact that the shade was too light. I mean, my skin felt like it was a little bit dry in the beginning, but then it definitely had more of a glow as the day was going on. And I was looking at my skin going like, okay, it looks pretty good. Came to blend, but that was probably part of the color. I'm not crazy about how the applicator works, and it was so hard to find like a color match description online, and I don't know what other color would be a better match for me. So I feel like for something this pricey, it's got a lot of drawbacks. My skin was looking pretty good though throughout the day, kind of glowy and stuff, but it's feeling a little irritated. I just don't know if I can say that this is like worth the money. Okay, so today's serum foundation is the L'Oreal Visible Lift Serum Absolute Sunscreen Broad Spectrum SPF 17. It's got pro retinol A and vitamin C. That sounds like some strong stuff for a drugstore foundation. I grabbed the shade Creamy Natural. It's got a pump, which I like. Oh, it comes out. It's coming out stiffer than I thought. It's a little bit less liquidy than some of the others. Much better color match on me than yesterday. Yeah, this is definitely a thicker formula than some of the others. It's not like as thin and liquidy, which is okay. I don't have a problem with that. The brush on this side. I'll do the beauty blender on this side. Okay, I'm not noticing too much of a difference in application because this is stiffer. It's a thicker formula. I feel like it is giving me quite a bit of coverage and smoothing things out. I've been really hard on L'Oreal foundations in all of my testing. Like ones that people rave about, I have not been a fan of. So far, I feel like this is really looking nice on my skin. Yeah, this is actually giving me pretty good coverage. I'm impressed. It evened out pretty easily. All right, so far, L'Oreal, you may have actually won me over with one so far. I don't know. We'll see. I'm gonna finish up the rest of my makeup, set it, and then I will check in with you a little bit later. It's gonna be a long day today, so check in later. Okay, so foundation update. This might be, I'm gonna go really bold on this because I'm really hard on drugstore foundations. I don't usually like them. This might be my favorite L'Oreal foundation, and it might be one of my favorite drugstore foundations. It's not gonna be a favorite foundation. I don't see myself using this all the time because I don't think it held up quite as well, but the coverage was great. Evened out my skin. My face is shinier than I feel like with some of the others at the end of the day. I feel like there's more wear on it than in some of the others. So while it's not a favorite, I have to say as a drugstore option, I'm pleasantly surprised with it. Okay, so today's fluid foundation is the Pure HydraFluid Water Serum Foundation. I have the shade Light. Get an instant youthful looking complexion with this innovative formula that utilizes an encapsulation technology to help drive water deep into the skin for long-lasting hydration and radiance. Application: apply 2 to 3 drops of foundation to the face with the liquid chisel brush. Oh, okay. Buff into skin in circular motion. Layer for additional coverage. Shake well. All right, we'll shake it well. Okay, my camera's getting a little tipsy here. All right, I don't really apply with the brush, so I think I'm going to put it on my fingers. I do 1, 2, 3. Coming out kind of a little oily looking. That does not look like enough product to go over all of my skin. We'll start with this. All right, instead of doing, you know, the separate sides of the face like I was doing with everything else, I'm just gonna go in with a brush because it says to go in with a brush. So I'm gonna go in with my Real Techniques. Okay, so my initial reaction, and I think I'm gonna put a little bit more on. My initial reaction is I'm not getting much coverage from just that. So I'm gonna try going over it and building it. Okay, that's giving me a little bit better coverage. I'm just gonna go over this with the Beauty Blender because that's what I always do with all of my makeup. Coverage is okay. Skin feels okay. I don't know, we'll just have to see how this holds up. I'm gonna do the rest of my makeup, set it, check in with you guys later. Okay, so foundation update. I do think when I layered this, the coverage was decent. Like when I built it, like doing like sort of 2 rounds. So, I mean, looking in the mirror, I'm like, my skin, it looks decent. It looks somewhat even. The thing is that it doesn't look especially special. And also, I think, and I mean, it is a hydrating formula, so it makes sense, but like it's not really good for my oily skin. I think this was too hydrating. I don't know if there's oil in it or not. Like when it came out, it had more of like a separated oily consistency even though I shook it. But I feel like this is just too hydrating for oily skin. If you had drier skin, maybe, but in my skin, like it can get kind of dehydrated, but it is oily, and I feel like I haven't had an especially active day. I've basically just been working at my computer. It's not especially humid outside. It's not ridiculously warm. It's pretty comfortable in here, and my face is shinier than it normally would be, even though I set it with powder. I do notice there wasn't any drag when I was setting it with the powder, which a lot of these have had drag and this one didn't seem to, but still I feel like this is too hydrating. So I don't think this is bad necessarily. I'm not in love with it. It's kind of middle of the road, but it's definitely not for oilier skin. Okay, so today's serum foundation is the Bobbi Brown Intensive Skin Serum Foundation SPF 40. Lychee, bamboo grass, and cordyceps extract. Always gotta be something I can't pronounce. Okay, to use, shake well before applying. I've primed my skin like usual, and this is like serious packaging here. Like, it's like, you can tell this is quality, and it's got this like, almost like a coat of arms on the front. Like, I don't know. I mean, Bobbi Brown packaging is always good, but this feels like a little bit more luxurious. Comes in a dropper, which I think works a little bit better than some of the other droppers that I've noticed. This is in the shade Cool Ivory. Okay, I'm gonna use the brush on this side. It has a very distinct smell to it. It's not bad, it's just a very, I feel like I use this term all the time, but it's a very day spa-y smell. Like, if you know, like if you've ever been in a day spa, like it has that very distinct smell to it. It's feeling a little light on me, which is odd because this is actually the shade that I have in a lot of Bobbi Brown foundations. Okay, it's a little bit more natural looking on the Beauty Blender side, but I'm gonna go over the brush side with the Beauty Blender. Definitely evened out. I kind of like it, I think, using the brush and then the Beauty Blender, just giving me a little bit more even coverage, giving me a nice even complexion. I'm liking it so far. It's not wowing me like some of the others with like feeling like my skin is tightened and perfected, but I do like it. I do like the way it makes my skin feel. I'm not feeling like it's that much different right now than the skin foundation though. I mean, this is SPF 40, this is SPF 15, so I mean there is obviously going to be a difference. I'm just feeling like the effect of it is not that much different to me than the regular liquid skin. I'm gonna finish my makeup, set this, and then I'm gonna wear this throughout the day and let you know how it holds up. Okay, foundation update. I feel like this is okay. It's giving me more coverage than the Bobbi Brown, like the regular skin foundation. I filmed today, I thought my skin looked pretty good. It's not wowing me, and my face is pretty shiny. Didn't have drag when I was powdering, which I thought was pretty impressive. It's okay, it's just not wowing me. Okay, so today's serum foundation is the Juice Beauty Phyto-Pigment Flawless Serum Foundation, and I actually picked up the shade Rosy Beige. Got a pump, which I like. I think I like the pump better than a dropper for something like this. This actually, when I first took it out of the box, it was quite separated. So I shook it up and it seemed to shake up pretty easily, but it's very watery. And it's coming out, like, I mean, it's not separated, but it's, I don't know, it's feeling very, very watery. I mean, it's a serum, so I expect it to be liquidy, but this feels like very watery and drippy to me, if drippy is a word. I don't know, we'll try the brush over here. It has a nice smell to it. I can't really tell what it is. It's not quite citrusy, but it's got a hint of citrus. Okay, that's spread out pretty evenly. Let's try the Beauty Blender on this side. Okay, the Beauty Blender side is really kind of harder to blend in. I think it's because it's so liquidy. It's not like blending in quite as smoothly. Much better, more even application on the brush side. Probably because it's so liquidy. Alright, it's not giving me phenomenal coverage. Not terrible, and I think it's evening out my skin, but yeah, the Beauty Blender side is really hard to blend in. I love Juice Beauty because it's a clean beauty brand. It's got really good ingredients. Just find for some reason a lot of their products don't tend to work too well with my skin. And I don't see anything on here about there being SPF in this. I think this is the only one I've tried so far that doesn't have SPF in it. I mean, I wear a sunscreen anyway, so it's not essential to me that my makeup has SPF in it, but if you're used to a foundation that has SPF in it, you're gonna need an additional one because this does not have it in it. It does say you can layer it for fuller coverage, but I think I'm just gonna go with this for right now. I mean, I do think it does a nice job of evening out my skin. It feels very lightweight, not giving me a crazy amount of coverage, but you know, is what it is. Definitely need to even it out with the brush. But I'm gonna do the rest of my makeup and I'm gonna set this and I'll update you a little bit later as to how I like it. Okay, so I just barely still have lighting to show you. I don't know, my skin just doesn't seem to have a nice finish to it with this. When I powdered, I got much more drag on the side that I just used the Beauty Blender than the side that I used the brush and the Beauty Blender. But overall, I don't know, I haven't really done much today, although I have been sitting at a computer and I do tend to like touch my face when I do that. I don't know, I mean, I love the fact that this has got like clean ingredients in it, and I love the concept of the brand, but this just is not sitting well on my skin. I don't know, I don't think I'm a fan of this one. Okay, so I primed my face and I have another serum foundation. This one is actually from a brand I've never tried before. It's the Shea Moisture Weightless Shea Serum Foundation, natural finish. I shake well before applying. This did kind of look separated in the package when I first picked it up, so you definitely do have to shake this well. Start with a very small amount. Directions: disperse a small drop. Dot on nose, cheeks, chin, and forehead. Blend into skin. Buildable for customizable coverage. Assuming Shea Moisture means that there's actually like shea butter, is my guess. I'm assuming that probably means, I mean, it's more moisturizing. Oh, this comes out thicker than I thought. I thought it was going to be liquidier, more like yesterday's. All right, you're supposed to start with a small amount. I just failed. And this looks a little bit too light. I think I had a hard time picking a shade match. I grabbed the shade Porcelain, but I don't know. The brush on this side, this is definitely thicker than I thought. I don't know why I thought it would be thinner. I think because it looked separated in the package. I mean, if it had actually has shea butter in it and it's more moisturizing, it being thicker would make sense. Yeah, this is definitely too light for me. We could just, yeah, not cute. All right, we'll try the Beauty Blender on this side. Okay, this is clearly not my shade. It feels quite thick, and I mean, I did obviously start with too much. I will totally admit that. I don't really start with more than I have with the others. It's just that this is obviously a lot thicker than I anticipated. It's tough to blend, so you definitely do. They weren't kidding when they said start small. Not loving the finish. I mean, I think this is just too thick and heavy for my skin. Taking a lot of work to even this out. Not really for me. I'm not saying it's a bad product, but it's clearly not for me. But I'm gonna do the rest of my makeup, set this, and I'll check in a little bit later. Let you know how it holds up. Okay, so foundation update. I have some marks from my sunglasses, but honestly, I mean, it didn't sit very well. And actually, in this light, my cheeks look really... I actually don't think this had SPF in it, but I did put sunscreen on. I don't know, my face is looking kind of red. It's shiny. It never really felt like it settled on the skin. Granted, I think I might have used a little bit too much, but still, I don't know. The shade wasn't really right. I'm not saying this is a bad product, and the price is pretty reasonable. I just don't think for my skin type, and if you have like oily skin, I don't really see this working well for you. And if you don't like anything too heavy, like if you like something really lightweight, really liquidy, this is a thicker formula. And I don't actually think it has great coverage for how thick the formula is. So I'm not saying it's terrible, but it's not for me, and it's definitely not my favorite. Okay, so today's serum foundation is the Stila Aqua Glow Serum Foundation. It says here on the package, medium to full buildable coverage with a natural radiant finish. Advanced multi-reflective color pigments play with light to instantly even skin tone and reduce the appearance of imperfections. Contains an electrolyte balance system, a carefully combined complex of ionized water, advanced hyaluronic acid, and essential minerals to help hydrate and nourish for skin that glows with healthy radiance, fragrance-free. Shake well before use using your fingers or brush number 33, which I don't have, so I'm gonna use another brush. Blend over face, building where more coverage is needed. Packaging is really pretty. It's got this like iridescence to it, and I'm guessing this is a dropper because it's got this little thing that pops up. Yep, it's a dropper. It doesn't say anything about sunscreen, so I'm guessing there's no sunscreen in it. I don't know if it smells like sunscreen or if it just smells a little beachy. I don't know what that is. I do like pretty much anything that has hyaluronic acid in it though, so I'm on board with that. And this is the shade Light, by the way. It smells over, definitely giving me good coverage. Try this side with just the Beauty Blender. Okay, it's a little tricky to blend in, but it does work on the side with just the Beauty Blender. But I'm actually gonna go over the whole thing with the Beauty Blender per usual. I still think the brush side gives you a little bit more even application. It makes it a little bit quicker to blend. Not the easiest, but it is blending relatively easily. Okay, it's a little tricky to blend around my nose. Not the trickiest. Some of the others were just really impossible to blend around my nose, but this one's a little tricky. I might have just had too much product though, but I'm liking the coverage. Yeah, it's definitely giving me a glow. But I'm gonna finish my makeup, set this, and then I will update you a little bit later. See how it's holding up. Okay, so foundation update. I like the glow this is giving me, and I definitely think this is good coverage. It's definitely hydrating. My face is definitely shinier, although it has been hotter today than other days. But this one doesn't have SPF, which, if that's something you're looking for, that's a factor. There's things I like about it, like I like how glowing my skin is, but I definitely think my skin got extra shiny extra quickly. So I feel like if you had drier skin, it might be better. It is still lightweight, although I don't think it closer here. I don't love the way it's sitting on my skin. Kind of just feels like it's sitting on top of it. I feel like maybe in the winter time, if, you know, when the air's drier, my skin's drier. My skin's never really dry, but when the air is just sort of drier, this might be a nice hydrating option. And I feel like it's a decent glowing foundation. I feel like some of the earlier serum foundations were like lifting and tightening my skin and doing kinds of great stuff with it. Whereas this one, I'm just kind of like, it's good, but it's not like wowing me. And I don't think it's ideal for oily skin at all. Okay, so I've got my last serum foundation. I apologize for the AC in the background, but it is way too hot in here to not run it, so we gotta do what we gotta do. This serum foundation is the bareMinerals bareSkin Pure Brightening Serum Foundation Broad Spectrum SPF 20. I have the shade Bare Shell. Oh, this is cute when you open it up, the little thing. I don't know if you can read it on camera, but it says "Shake Well, Gorgeous." Too cute. I haven't had much luck with bareMinerals foundation and products. I feel like this is actually like very liquidy, because it's like, it's almost got like something in it, you know, when you spray up like an aerosol thing or something. Shake well for seamless skin perfecting coverage. I guess it's like a dropper, maybe? Yeah, alright, it's a dropper. Alright, this is messy. I don't like this. Getting all over everything. Yeah, I don't like this packaging. And it's plastic, like it feels kind of cheap. Very lightweight though. I'm gonna try the brush on this side. Okay, spread it around with the brush. It's not like blending in seamlessly or anything. I'm gonna try the Beauty Blender on this side. Alright, that blended in pretty well. It's not giving me great coverage over here though, but let me try the Beauty Blender side on this side. I use the brush just to get that even. It does feel really lightweight. And it's blending pretty easily, but not as easily as I would have expected something this lightweight to blend. Definitely get a more even application on the brush side though. It's not wowing me with coverage. It's evening out my skin tone a little bit. I mean, I don't hate it. Like, I'm liking it, but it's not wowing me. With bareMinerals, that's kind of always the thing with me. I don't hate anything from bareMinerals, but I just don't think as a brand, I don't know if they necessarily work for me. And some brands just don't work for some people. It feels lightweight though. I'm gonna do the rest of my makeup, set this, and I'll check in a little bit later. Okay, so I was trying to give this foundation the benefit of the doubt, even though I'm not a huge fan of bareMinerals in general. It just doesn't work for me. I'm not saying it's a bad brand, but it doesn't tend to work for me. I did kind of like the way my skin was glowing a bit when I first put it on, but I didn't get a lot of drag with the powder. I don't know, the rest of my makeup, like my bronzer and highlighter, just didn't sit well on top of it. Like this just did not work for me. And that was my serum foundation collection that I have acquired to make this video. There is a pretty wide price range in this video, from extremely affordable to extremely expensive, but I want to give you my A-list and D-list. For A-list, I feel like the two that really stood out for me and the ones that I probably will wear again, ironically, one is high-end and one is drugstore. I would say the Dior Nude Air. It's a Diorskin Nude Air. This one impressed me. I'm not in love with the dropper, but this dropper actually works pretty well, so I'm not gonna complain about it. This one, I just felt like, I mean, it's got broad spectrum SPF 25. It evens out my skin. It's the first one I tried, and I was just really, really impressed with how well it worked. I have tried this once or twice since then, but I mean, I test so many makeup products, it's hard for me to try a product after I've already reviewed it, but I have used this one again and I do still really like it. And one from the drugstore that really surprised me, although I did see great reviews on it, is the L'Oreal Visible Lift Serum Absolute Sunscreen Broad Spectrum. I'm gonna learn to say that. Broad Spectrum SPF 17 with pro-retinol A and vitamin C. The reason this surprised me was because I have not been a fan of L'Oreal foundations in the past. I haven't been a fan of drugstore foundations in general, and I feel like the L'Oreal, like their Pro Matte, I didn't try the Glow one, but the Pro Matte just does not work for me at all. And I feel like that's so many people's like holy grail foundation. I guess I just had kind of been a little bit disappointed with drugstore foundations in the past. This one really impressed me and I have used this one again since then, and I was actually really surprised because my skin is very sensitive for a foundation to have retinol and vitamin C, although I have not used this a ton of times to know if it irritates my skin over time. I do have to say the few times that I have worn this, I've had no skin irritation, so I really like the way this makes my skin look. This is definitely, I'm gonna go out on a limb and say this is my favorite drugstore foundation. I don't like a lot of drugstore foundations, so I don't have a lot of favorites, but this one might be my favorite drugstore foundation. Just saying. I'm not gonna go through all of them, so there were some that were just sort of like middle of the road, like I wasn't in love with them, or they just didn't work for me, but they might be good for other people. But the ones that I am gonna mention that were just definitely like D-list that I was not a fan of. Two of them that I kind of, I don't wanna say that they're the worst, I just think that for the price point, and because of the brand, my expectations were really high. The KEVYN AUCOIN, no. The dropper doesn't really work all that well. I think this was the one that I used that like my skin color was just like, it was way off, and trying to figure out which color to get was like, it was just a pain in the butt. Like I don't know, I feel like I expected more for a KEVYN AUCOIN foundation for a brand at this price point and with a name like this. I expected it to be better. Another one that I don't really know if it's necessarily the worst, it's just that I have very high expectations for Hourglass. Their Veil Mineral Primer is like my holy grail primer. I use it every day. I used it with all the foundations in this test. I love Hourglass. And while I don't think this was like the worst one I tried, this is so hard to blend, and I kind of gave it the benefit of the doubt, thinking like maybe it was just, you know, my beauty blender was, you know, not as clean as it should be or something. I did try this again after the test, like thinking that, all right, I'm gonna give this one another shot because I love Hourglass so much, and it's so hard to blend. I wanted to love this so much, and I just don't. Not the worst product out there, it's just my expectations for Hourglass are like up here, and it just did not live up to that. bareMinerals, I hate the packaging. I mean, this, first of all, it's very cheap packaging, like the feeling of it and the dropper and stuff, it just, not great packaging, and it really just, it didn't work on my skin. I just didn't really like it. The Juice Beauty, I didn't really like the coverage. I mean, I really love the idea of Juice Beauty and like how sort of safe and natural the products are, but this just did not work on my skin. Ugh, the Shea Moisture, I feel bad because this is such an affordable brand. It just, for me, I feel like even if it's affordable, like it really needs to be good. I feel like if you had drier skin, this might work for you. Oh, this is Weightless. Weightless Shea Serum Foundation. This was not Weightless. This was actually quite heavy. It's, for me, I just feel like even if you have drier skin, I feel like there's better options out there. This one just didn't impress me. I mean, I feel bad saying something really negative about something that's like a lower price point, but I do feel like no matter what the price point, like the product has to be good. And this one just, it didn't work for me. So if you have tried any serum foundations that you love or you hate, I want to know. Leave them in the comment section below. If you have any other makeup products or collections of products that you would like me to test out, I always love your suggestions. I got the idea for this video based on a suggestion from a viewer. So if you have any suggestions, please let me know. I love to hear from you. Leave those in the comment section below. If you found this video helpful, please give it a big thumbs up. A while back, I was suffering from anxiety and depression, and I truly believe that beauty and makeup saved my life, and I believe it can save yours too. So if you want to join my Starlet squad, be sure you hit that subscribe button. You can follow me on all my social media channels. The links will all be in the description box below, along with links to all these products. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I hope you join me next time.